OK, well, let's get some reaction now from former England captain Nasser Hussain. Morning, Nasser. Thank you so much for joining us. We just saw England put up a fight but couldn't quite get there. What are your thoughts on their efforts today?
Well, it was another excellent test match in an excellent test series. England really good today. They put up as much of a fight as they could. They got wickets either side of lunch, and when they got Sarfraz and Jadeja just after lunch, you felt, crikey, this is going to be close. But Shubman Gill showed his class and his calmness, and Dhruv Jurel has just been a revelation, to be honest, in the two games he's played, both with gloves as a keeper and also with the bat. England didn't lose the game today. The game was lost yesterday. What a turnaround from India on first innings to get close because of Jurel again. And Kuldeep Yadav, and then England losing 7 for 35 yesterday afternoon. That's where the game was lost.
Yeah, when you say the game was lost here, do you think the series was actually lost in the last test? Because the last test, it was aimed at England that they threw away their chance of victory, whereas, like you say, this one was just great work from India.
I think India deserve credit for the way they've played throughout the series, to be honest. I think India have been without some star names, without Kohli, without Bumrah in this one, without Shami, without KR Rahul for most of the series, without Rishabh Pant. There's a long list of people that they're missing, and yet they managed to put in performances. You know, Ravi Ashwin in the last game, like you say, he wasn't there for a day, but they stood up and turned that game around. And then Ravi Ashwin, who was there throughout the test match here, stands up and gets 5 wickets in that second innings and bowls quite brilliantly. So I think you do have to give credit to India, not only the skill they have, but the mental toughness with the players they're missing to have another home series win. Their record at home is absolutely phenomenal. So there's no shame in losing to this Indian side. But obviously, like with any test series and any test match, you look at key areas where you let the game slip. And for me, yesterday, all of yesterday, really, that 46, what could have been a 100-run lead, ended up being 46. And then in your third innings, you don't know whether to stick or twist. And I think England batted in that collapse. They batted 26 overs for that 37 for 5, which for this side to go at just over 1 run and over shows that they didn't know whether to stick or twist yesterday.
Yeah, and Bazball has faced a fair bit of criticism, particularly in this series, perhaps more than ever before and more than they have in the McCullum and Stokes era. How do you think they'll reflect on their approach in this series?
Well, it's the first series they've lost under McCullum and Stokes. And like I say, it's no shame losing to India in India. And I think with the young spinners they've had, let's look at the positives. They've gone out there with inexperienced spinners, and they've both grown by the game. Hartley has got better and better, and young Shoaib Bashir has bowled beautifully in this game. He's got 8 for in the game, 5 for in the first innings. There have been some key moments. They've not quite been as ruthless as they could have been with bat and ball. It was debated in the last game about the Joe Root shot, the reverse scoop, and then Joe Root goes and gets a brilliant 100 in this game. At times, they've not bowled particularly well. They've bowled loose deliveries. So in any test series, you can look at key moments where you've lost it. But actually, if you look throughout the series, even the game they won, they gave India a massive first innings lead. And it was because of a brilliant 196 from Ollie Pope that got them back in the game. So you'd look and say, actually, India probably have won more sessions in the series than England, and hence are deserved winners.
In terms of spinners for England, a lot of spinners that have come and gone over the years. You think of trying out Peter Such, Ian Salisbury and people like that, but then you get the longevity of Ashley Giles and Graham Swan as well. When it comes to Shoaib Bashir and Tom Hartley, have we found 2 genuine test match quality spinners in England?
Listen, the key is, as a player and a pundit, is not to get too low when the wheels come off, and not to get too high and upbeat when you find a couple of decent spinners. So they've bowled beautifully in conditions that have helped spin, but not overly so, just good pitches that spun a bit. And bowling spin in England is completely different. That's where Graham Swan in particular, he deceived batters before the ball landed with his drift and drop. And I will say about Shoaib Bashir, that is one thing that he does have. He gets a lot of drop. He was tall. He has a high release point. That's why he was picked. England did their homework in India. You need bowlers with high release points. But if you look at his couple of his dismissals today, where batters have pushed forward thinking they're there to the pitch of the ball and it's dropped on them and turned and bounced and gone to Ollie Pope at leg gully. He has got that capability of deceiving batters before it actually lands. So that's going to be a useful asset in England. But most important to him and any young England spinner is that they have a captain in Stokes that understands spin. He is a brilliant captain of young spinners. You only have to see what he's done with his young, inexperienced spinners in this series. Stokes knows how to captain the youngsters. So it's up to Bashir now. He's got another game, Dharamshala. Hartley has been excellent. England just, they need to go there, try and win there, and try and keep an upbeat tempo about them, really. It's been disappointing, but as I say, first series defeat under Stokes.
I bet you weren't expecting a question about Peter Such this morning. Nasser, thanks for joining us.